Hello, welcome to Guinness. My name is Bob and I'm your guide today. I will take you through dangerous dungeons, treacherous towns, and protect you from the beggars, botters and dangerous fiends in the land of Guinness. Ready? Let's begin.
Good afternoon. A new multiplayer game has just been released to the public. A trailer has been released which gives us more information on the game. News correspondent ICU is at the of the cast with more information.
Thank you, Bob. I'm here in the heart of Guinness, trying to find out why this game is so different to others. I've compiled a brief summary of what we know so far. The game is known as Runescape Classic and is based in a make-believe world known as Guinness. In the game, you train skills and interact with the environment through quests and interactive gameplay.
Playing the game, you level up skills. These are split into two categories: combat and non-combat. The combat skills are split up even further, with different classes for how you attack the monsters in the game. These are melee, ranged, and magic. Melee's main two skills are attack and strength. Range's main skill is ranged, and magic's main skill is mage. They also rely on defense, constitution, summoning, and prayer. These skills reflect on what combat level you have as well. Your combat level tells the player if they can attack the high level monsters or bosses. The non-combat skills are agility, carpentry, cooking, crafting, fire making, herb lore, hits, which was later renamed constitution, mining, smithing, thieving, and woodcutting. When you level up the skills, you unlock additional methods of training or new equipment. Back to you, Bob.
Thank you, Ice. We will be back after this break. Hello and welcome back. For the last 2 months, there has been an open beta for Runescape 2. It has now been launched to the main game with new quests, a new engine, and a whole new method of gameplay. The combat system has been remade, which has changed the way your combat level is calculated. It balances the 3 combat styles and has introduced abilities. Abilities are moves that allow players to deal extra damage, heal themselves, stun their opponents, among other effects. There are 3 classes of abilities: basic, threshold, and ultimate. Basic abilities and normal automatic attacks build up an adrenaline bar. Threshold abilities require 50% and will drain 50%. Ultimate abilities require 100% adrenaline and will drain 100% of the bar. We have managed to interview the CEO of Jacket about some of the changes to Runescape, and the ideas behind the original game. Mark, what made you think of the game?
The game's origins sprang from seminal RPG influences like Dungeons & Dragons board games. RuneScape's take on classic dungeon crawlers was inspired by things like Terry Pratchett's Discworld book series, as much as Money Island Adventures games by LucasArts and the Sierra Quest series. However, almost from day one, RuneScape was never just a vision, nor could it ever be made by a single person. Andrew Gower made a tech platform to make writing game script easier called RuneScript. His brother Paul then wrote some of the early quests and designed many of the mechanics still in the game today. Ian, the other brother, did early 2D pixel art for the game whilst he was still studying at university, and Constant Tedder, the other founder and CEO, provided the money to get started. However, very quickly, RuneScape became the work of an army of people, much as it is today, and everyone is encouraged to bring their own ideas and flavor to the game, which is what makes it so unique and has allowed it to endure for over 15 years and is still going strong. I think it's fair to say, despite my past 7 years at the helm of Jagex, RuneScape is not mine, nor does it belong to our content developers. It has always belonged to the community and has been shaped for them, most tangibly seen recently with the Power to the Players voting system we launched at the start of the year, where the players now determine what we create next.
Can you tell us more about Power to the Players?
Sure. Power to the Players is an in-game polling system which was introduced to RuneScape in mid-January 2014 to give players the ability to choose the content and updates being added into the RuneScape game. All polls are open to members, and some polls may be available to free players. Each player has only one vote per poll, but they are allowed to change their mind as many times as they wish while the poll is open. The vote they have chosen at the end of the poll is the one that will be logged for that player.
Thank you. With the introduction of RuneScape 2 and the new combat system, you removed player versus player mechanics and wilderness. Why did you do that?
Sadly, real-world trading is an issue which used to affect RuneScape in a big way. Real-world trading is the exchange of in-game items or services for real-life money, goods, or services. That was the reason for the removal of PvP in the wilderness and free trade. We thought that this method could be used to prevent the transfer of wealth and items between accounts. This was used to cheat the game by buying wealth. When we removed PvP in the wilderness, we also removed free trade. Initially, this was successful in eliminating real-world trading, but unfortunately, the people involved in real-world trading changed their methods. It was clear that the community wanted things to change, so we put the return of the wilderness and free trade to a public vote, and players voted overwhelmingly in favor of its return.
Yes. Real world trading is a big problem, especially with gold coins. Do you ask users for their opinion on how to improve the game?
Our forums are really active. Thousands of people use them and actively discuss our recent and future updates and make suggestions on how to improve existing content and what they would like to see in the future. Just to give you an idea of how involved our players are, our suggestion and feedback forums receive more than 2,500 posts per day. Our players directly influence the product. It's their game after all. It belongs to them.
That's right. How did you monitor the game in terms of marketing and success?
We're lucky enough to have an amazing team which looks at all of our data. They track a variety of things which allows us to see our performance. I suppose that our measurement of success comes in the form of active users. Given that RuneScape is free to play, activity is key. We're so proud of our game's activity that we show a live count of players currently online on our homepage, and another live counter showing the number of accounts created, which currently stands at over 228 million.
Wow, that's a lot of people. How did you develop the idea? How did it go from an idea to finished gameplay?
A lot of hard work from a lot of people. We've been updating it weekly for more than 10 years and we're still going. RuneScape is ever-changing and it develops with our players. There are more than 160 people who work on RuneScape. We have game and narrative designers put together the ideas for the content we're working on. There are our concept artists who help to showcase the ideas, as well as animators and modelers to make that concept art into game characters or items. Our content developers code the game and then put the models into RuneScape, and while using quality assurance to test that it works, our engine team ensure that the game's engine works flawlessly, and then we put it into the game. We also have the community team who talk to and gather feedback from our players, and the player support team who keep our players safe and provide them with help. That's not to mention the website team, the artists, the marketing team, and the teams working on our other projects.
That's a lot of people working on an idea. Last question. In the last 10 years, there has been a lot of CGI blockbuster movies. Did this influence your game in any way, and did it help with popularity?
RuneScape has a lot of influences. Each designer and developer is influenced by different things, and so we can see many of these influences shining through in some of our content. Like I said before, the original inspiration came from board games and books, which is still referred to. Our inspirations are diverse, and there probably have been times when blockbuster movies have inspired us, but the game is very old and we still draw on our original inspirations to keep a consistent style. With that said, I think the resurgence of fantasy as a genre, stuff like Game of Thrones, has helped the game's popularity and given it the cool factor again.
Thank you, Mark, for taking the time to answer our questions. We'll be back next week with what the players thought about evolution of combat. Until then, good night.